Okay, we'll get started. Are all of you able to see me on your screen? Okay, okay.
Yes.
If you cannot, then there is a technique. I think you just have to click on active speaker view. So sometimes if it happens, just click on active speaker view and you should be able to see the active speaker at least. That way we can accomplish it. Okay. ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So this is the second class in our course called Introduction to Tattvabodha or Introduction to Vedanta through Tattvabodha. And once again, starting the class invoking the blessings of our acharyas and our rishis and Saraswati Devi and Dakshinamurti. Last class we just had a very brief start and we will continue that discussion today. And after the hour is over, we will open up for questions. So, as we said earlier, if any of you cannot see my face on your screen, then you can choose what is called active speaker view from the top right hand corner of your screen in a PC system, I think. In other devices, I don't know how it will work. So there is something called active speaker view, and if you choose that, you can see me alone on your screen. I have set it up so I can see all of you. If you look at the life of a turtle, the turtle, let's look at a sea turtle. It's a big turtle. The sea turtle lays its eggs on the beach. It needs a very moist environment for it to lay eggs. So it comes to the beach, the mother turtle, we can call it that. It digs a big hole. So we are looking at a big turtle, right? Probably, it can easily occupy our computer desk. Can be that big, or perhaps even larger. It digs a hole large enough, and it goes and sits under the hole. And after some days, it lays a bunch of eggs, probably 100, probably 200. And then it comes out of the hole. It covers the hole with the moist, wet sand, covers it completely, and it walks away, goes back to the ocean. That's it, it's gone. And then after some time, after some days, in this moist environment, the eggs are all beginning to hatch. And I've seen this, I've not seen in real life, but I've seen it in National Geographic videos. Animal Planet, these kinds of things these days you can see a lot. And they all start coming out of this ground, and one by one, after that, fives, tens, they all keep coming out, small turtles. And they start dashing to the ocean. Nobody taught these turtles that they are somewhere inside. Nobody taught them they should dig themselves out and come out. Nobody taught them that they are on the bank of an ocean, they are on the seaside. Nobody taught them they should dash towards the ocean. Dashing, if a turtle runs, then nobody has heard of a turtle running. If a turtle runs, this is the only time a turtle runs. It dashes to the ocean. It has to dash because there are all these seagulls and lot of birds of prey that are picking up all these turtles one by one. So that's why I suppose the turtle lays several hundred eggs so that at least a few turtles will reach the ocean. It reaches the ocean and then it swims. It starts swimming on day one. There are no swimming lessons for this turtle. They don't all join and said, we're all new babies. We need to learn to swim. Otherwise, we will drown ourselves. Like this, there is no lesson being conducted. They dash to the ocean. And they are not looking for their mother. They are not saying, wait a minute, where is our mother? Where is our father? How come she left us like this? We are all orphans. There is no organization of turtle orphans. They are not members of this organization. They just dash to the ocean and they do whatever they have to do. And they say, the sea turtle can live as long as even 150 years. I've heard that. 150 years, I can't even imagine how long 150 years is. That long it lives. The pet turtle, I've seen in America, I saw some pet turtles. They have the small, hardly bigger than a palm. And they have it in some lakes and ponds and even some houses they keep these pet turtles. This pet turtle can live from 10 years to 80 years, it seems. I don't know who lives long, etc. So, this turtle has gone to the sea, and in the sea it lives for 100 plus years. Now, look at the life of the human baby. It is about to be born. Even before it is born, a lot of care has been taken. The mother takes a lot of care. There is an entire medical system that has taken care of the mother, hospital visits, x-rays, MRI scans. We also know the gender of the baby before the baby is born. And now the important day has come and the baby is born. The world is watching. Parents are watching. Grandparents are on the phone. Relatives are there. WhatsApp groups are created. And the baby is born. This baby is not like the tortoise or not like the turtle. He doesn't say, Mom, you gave birth to me 10 days late. I've lost 10 days. I need to rush. I've got a lot of things to do. No, this baby doesn't say that. This baby is crying loudly. And the parents are happy when the baby cries. In fact, they say the baby doesn't cry. They have to tap the baby because we don't know the baby is breathing or not. The baby cries and everybody is happy. Everybody sheds tears. And the baby is taken home. Weeks pass. This baby is helpless. It is lying on its back. It is sleeping most of the time, 20 hours maybe in a day initially. And all it knows is to cry. And when it cries, mom knows what to do and it goes back to sleep. Months later, it's able to look, it is seeing, it is learning to see, I suppose. And then it is smiling at some people. And then life goes on. Then one day it starts to turn over. And the mother calls her mother and says, Amma, Vikram is turning now. Turning from the backside, now he's now on his belly. And everybody is joyful. Then now the baby is stuck because it's on the belly now. It doesn't know how to come back. It doesn't know how to come back to its normal position. And this goes on for a while. So we were talking about this baby, this human baby. And it is so helpless. For years it is helpless. It needs the help of adults. And it has to learn everything from scratch. Unlike the turtle, it has to learn to speak. It has to learn to communicate. And it has to learn how to eat, what to eat. Everything has to be taught to this baby. This baby doesn't say, oh, I want to have a good health when I grow up. Don't give me all these chips and other things. No, it doesn't say all that. Everything has to be taught to the baby. Remember the turtle. The turtle has no lessons on, hey, this ocean is vast. Hey, don't think every animal is a small fish. There are big fish also. There are sharks which will just swallow hundreds of turtles in one shot. No such lessons are there. But this baby needs a lot of lessons. And boy goes to college, girl goes to college. And again, a lot of anxiety coming home with all kinds of conflicts that the parents have to advise. Then boy and girl continue to grow and then get married. Married, then at least now there are two people. Life should be great. At least if one person doesn't know what to do, One person doesn't know how to cook. The other person should be able to say, yeah, at least I know how to make rice. Let's make rice and eat today. Mom, how do I make rice? You didn't teach me how to make rice. So this guy is 30 years old. He needs the help from mom, even at that time. And later on, he calls and says, Mom, it's confusing. She's saying this, now she's saying this. What should I do? What does it mean? Perhaps mom says, welcome to the club. As they say in America, welcome to the club. I like that phrase very much. So this human being apparently seems helpless, apparently seems powerful and empowered, doing a lot of things that no turtle, no cow, no dog, no cat can accomplish. So very unique life. And this human being is the one who says, I'm happy, I'm elated, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I need help. This human being says that. Nobody, I've seen so many National Geographic videos for many years, ever since I stopped watching TV almost 10 years ago or whatever. Nobody told me this is a depressed lion. This dog is depressed. No owner told me this dog is depressed because the owner is not taking care of the dog properly. Nobody told, we never heard of a depressed dog or a cat, depressed pet, a wild animal that is depressed. We've never heard of that. But the human being, please, so talking about this human being, that being needs so much help during the process of living. Yet, and some people, I remember in one Bhagavad Gita class, one of our friends asked, isn't it better to live the life of an animal? They don't seem to have any problems. They don't need hospitals. They don't need police force. They don't need a judicial system. They don't need all this administrative system. They don't need electricity, this, that. All these systems they don't need. And they don't seem to complain also. So not only should they not need, but they should not complain also. So neither is aware, they don't need it. Wouldn't it be nice to be an animal? But the Shastram says to get the birth of a human being is one of the biggest blessings. Why? Why should the Shastram say that? What is the logic? Shastram says, Durlabham Trayame Vaitat. Viveka Chudamani, second verse or third verse, I think. Devanugraha Hetukam. There are three things that are impossible, very difficult to achieve. Durlabham Trayam Evaitat. Devanugraha Hetukam. These three difficult things can only be achieved by the kataksham of Ishvara, of our gods. What are they? Manushyatvam, human life, is apparently very difficult to achieve. Then mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam means a desire for seeking liberation. For now, let's just leave it like that. That is unique. And then Mahapurusha Samshraya. Mahapurusha Samshraya. association with Mahatmas. These three things are apparently very difficult. Human birth, and once a human birth is obtained, then there is another difficult thing or a rare thing, shall we say, is a desire for moksha. And then the third rare thing is to be associated with Mahatmas. This human being, whom we think is a very complex being, life is complex, they say. But when they say life is complex, compared to what life is complex? Compared to whose life is complex? If we say compared to an animal's life, human life is complex, then I will say that comparison is not fair. It is like Sachin Tendulkar, cricket, the champion, Virat Kohli, these fellows are all up there. And he can't play with me. He can't play cricket with me and say, oh, I beat Jayakumar and so I'm a great player. This doesn't work because Jayakumar doesn't know the difference between a tennis racket and a cricket bat. I don't know the difference. So this Virat Kohli can't gain any points comparing with me. He has to compare with this South Africa, De Villiers and all these other big shots out there, England and all these players, Pakistan. These players he has to win against. Then only this fellow is given awards, is considered great. Then only this 500,000, 1 million people will salute. So like that, comparing a human being against an animal is done only to highlight the uniqueness of a human being, but may not be the greatness of a human being. Can't say complex. How many such beings do we know? Do we know any beings on another planet? And we know their lives, how they lead. And then we can compare ourselves to those self-conscious beings and say, our life is much more complex than their life. No, we don't have such examples. But definitely, our life is very different. Very different from the animal. Of course, ahara nidra bhaya maithunancha. So this verse tells what is the difference between an animal and a human being. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunam. Ahara, hunger. All animals have hunger. Humans also have hunger. Nidra, sleep. Bhaya, fear. Maithunam, procreation. All animals have these four in common, including human beings. Samanyam etat pashubhir naranam. Samanyam etat pashubhir naranam. This is common to animals and human beings. So what is the uniqueness? Buddhirhi tesham adhiko visheshaha. The mind, buddhi, is what is the most unique to human beings. And then it goes on to say, buddhya vihinaha pashubhis samanaha. If I don't use that buddhi, buddhya vihinaha. Buddhya vihinaha means without that buddhi, or given that buddhi, I don't use that buddhi, then I am equivalent to an animal. Buddhya vihinaha pashubhis samanaha. So that buddhi has to be used. And so Shastra keeps telling us, reminding us all the time, keep using that buddhi. Another variation of the verse is dharma vihinaha. So without Dharmo hi tesham. So dharma is vishesha of the human being, they say, which is fine. Dharma, free will, self-consciousness, mind, buddhi, all these are unique to human being. So perhaps that is why the Shastram says the human being's life is unique. Even though the human being seems to start life in a helpless manner, unlike any other animal, that human being still is unique. That fellow still will pick up the thread somehow. That fellow will still ask, will be able to ask questions, will be able to communicate, will be able to understand, will be able to be creative, will be able to solve problems, simple problems, complicated problems. And that fellow will be able to send rockets to moon also and other planets. This fellow can do everything. So, so therefore, comparing the animals to human beings, we see human beings seems to start with a complicated life, but the Shastra says it may appear complicated, but there is a purpose for this life. And so, knowing such differences, we can ask, what is the goal of this animal? If there is such a thing called a goal, if we analyze, Swamiji used to say, the goal of an animal be seems to become physically mature. So it grows up and becomes older year by year, and after some time it can have babies. That's it. And after that, there is no more physical maturity. It has babies, and I don't know if it has a desire. I wish I have a few more babies. I wish, I don't think a cow will say, you know, I've given birth to 3 cows. Now I want a male cow, a bull. I want to give birth to a bull. I don't think cows have these kinds of thoughts. So, cow's life is mature. Once it starts giving birth, that's it. Beyond that, there is nothing more for the cow to accomplish. But can the human being say the same thing? Became an adult, and after that, okay, the body can become bigger, etc. But is that the goal of a human life? I don't think so. Because we are able to ask the question, what is the goal of a human being? The fact that we are asking that question shows that we have been given the capacity to know, to find out the answer to that question. That is the clue. We can say, I don't know what it is. Or we can say, to have a family, happy family, some people will say. To work, earn money, earn a living, to serve the society, some people might say, is the goal of a human being. Like this, we have different answers. So, one of the first things that the Shastram does to us is to inquire into the goals of a human being. Some people might say, there is no goal. You are born, you live a life like people live a life. People live lives, and then you leave the place. Then Shastram says you're born again also. Another karma is there. This karma is hanging behind us like big clouds. And I thought this was the only life, and let me get rid of this thing. I'm tired of this life, and let me be done with it. So if I can say, let me be done with it, so that I don't want to suffer this kind of life. Shastram says sorry to that. At least our Shastram says sorry. There is some karma. There is a way out of this, and that is why this human birth is unique, and we must use this life to understand what is the reality about this karma. So, one of the first things we do is to talk about this goals of a human being. Just before going to that, we talked about physical maturity for the animal and for the human being. But for the human being, there is also emotional maturity, right? So I'm an angry person. Whenever I look at somebody, I can have a conversation, but very quickly I start shouting at that person. Angry person. I can be an angry person, or I can be a balanced person. I have the ability to be disciplined over my anger. Even if I get it, I can control it. I can be an aggressive person. Whatever I seek, I go aggressively, ignoring all feelings, all sensitivities. Or I can be a sensitive person. I can be a conceited person, which means I lie about myself. Somebody asked me, hey, what happened? I've been trying to reach you all morning. Where were you? I said, I don't know, I had a very important appointment with the mayor of Coimbatore. He has no way to verify. And I am trying to present myself. I don't even know who the mayor is. But I say I was with the mayor of Coimbatore. Conceit. Or I can be a person who is happy being myself. So look at that. Look at how much room there is for the human being to grow. In America, I heard this phrase. They will say, grow up. They will say, grow up. Hey, what grow up? This fellow is already 50 years old. What more is there to grow up? 60 years old. Dad is 70 years old. Daughter says, Dad, grow up. Not even daughter will say. Even the granddaughter will say. Grandson also can say, oh, granddad, you don't know anything. You don't know anything. Technology and all, of course, grandfather is just struggling with all these smartphones and all that. And, and, and Papa, you don't know anything. Grow up. So this growing up seems to be there for this human being. Opportunity to grow up. So therefore, that is definitely unique for the human being. Emotional maturity, we can call it, if we can call it that. And how to grow up, if you ask, physical maturity happens automatically. I did not decide to become an adult. You know, we all do project management in companies. You got to plan things out, how to do this project. 6 months you have to complete phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So we all are born, and then we all have to decide to become adults. So you need to have a 20-year plan to become an adult. No such planning happens. You just have to survive. As long as the human being survives, that human being has to become an adult. The mustache starts coming, beard starts growing. There's no way to stop that. Adulthood starts. Nobody can stop that. But emotional maturity, if you look, If I panic every time I hear something, if I am shouting at people every time I relate to people, I have difficulty relating to people, then there is, they call self-development, there is personal growth, personality development. These days, there's all kinds of courses. My goodness, especially if you join a multinational corporation, they have developed all these systems, wonderful systems. They give you all these options. And sometimes these are not optional courses because they want these employees to work well. See, they don't care if the employee is compassionate. All these qualities they don't care about. But they do care about working together. Can these guys communicate properly? Communication is a very big thing in companies. Can these guys express ideas properly? Can these ladies and gentlemen, can they work with each other? Can they talk to vice presidents and presidents at the same time work with employees, new employees? So personality development, that has to come from one's own initiative. Each individual has to decide. I'm constantly worrying about myself. I don't want to. Nobody wants to worry about themselves. Nobody gets up in the morning and says, ah, last 1 month I've been very happy. I wish today I constantly worry about myself. I wish the next week I'm always sad. I've not heard anybody tell me this. Last week I got a call. Somebody called me and said, Anna, I feel like giving up my life. This is the call I get. And that person obviously doesn't want to give up their life. That is why they called me. So nobody wants to be sad. Yet we become sad. Unfortunately, in our studies, we've studied so much, so many years of studies, 12 years of schooling, and another few years of college, and perhaps for some of us even more years of masters and things like that. We've taken so many courses on so many subjects, but I have not taken, at least I have not taken a course on how to be happy. I wish somebody had taught me that. I wish there was some course. Perhaps this courses on psychology talk about happiness and sadness. But I've never heard anybody come to me and say, this course that I took in college, how to be happy, changed my life completely. Finally, I learned how to lead a life properly. Nobody told me that. So, we all want to be happy, but we all find our own ways, I suppose, to be happy. Lead a family, have a nice job, etc., etc. And some of us are perhaps leading happier lives than others. But wouldn't it be nice if we ask the question, hey, what is the goal of your life? If somebody were to ask us, what will be our answer? Can we say the goal of life is to have a family, a happy family with children and grandchildren, etc.? Can we say that? We can't say that because there are many people who seem to be happy without a large family. Many people who seem to be happy without a family itself. There are many single people who seem to be happy. So therefore we can't say having a large family, etc. is the goal of our life. Can we say having sufficient wealth, enough wealth so I can do whatever I want? I don't have to think twice before I take a taxi, before I take a flight. I don't have to think twice. Is that the goal of human life? I think we all will agree very quickly that that also cannot be a goal of human life, because there seem to be many people. I saw once one, there is a lady, there's a maid working in somebody's home, and she was advising the Swami, she was advising the mother of that family where she is working. So the employee was advising the employer about certain things, and how not to worry about your children and things like that. And suddenly it struck me, oh my God, look at this. So this lady who is working has to borrow money. She borrowed money to when her husband got hospitalized. She doesn't have money. She doesn't have insurance and this and that. But she seems to be stable, emotionally stable. And she seems to be more or less happy. I won't say very happy and all that, but she seems to be fine. She doesn't complain. So we can't say having a family, we can't say having a job, we can't say any of these things can be a goal of life. So then we have to ask the question, what is the goal of life? So this is where we are now entering the topic of what the Shastram calls as Purushartha. Purushartha. The Sanskrit word which means, Purusha here means human being. Artha means what is sought after. Purushartha means what is sought after by a human being. Purushaihi arthyate iti purushartha. Don't worry about that technical word. What is sought by a human being is a purushartha. In Sanskrit, generally, the Sanskrit words will generally define themselves. That is the uniqueness of Sanskrit. So if you know a few small Sanskrit words, many words are combination of these smaller words, or if you know the dhatu, the root of a word, you can figure out the meaning of the word. So that's how Sanskrit works. So these are called Purushartha, and we want to talk about that, and some of you already know what that is. In many of our songs, we will say, it will come Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Chaturvida Purushartha. 4 Purusharthas. So, perhaps I'm looking at my clock now. It's about 5 minutes to 7 here. Perhaps now is a good time to pause. So next class we can resume it. So we are entering the topic of Purushartha, which again is basic to some of you. And as I mentioned in the last class, the next few weeks or few classes, the class will progress like this, gradually, introducing the topic of our Shastra itself, Vedanta. We won't be talking about Tattvabodha for the next 6 to 7 weeks. So if you think, those of you who have studied under Paramarthanandaji and others, if you think this is basic, you are welcome not to attend the classes. And last emails, I mentioned things like, please let me know if you're not attending the classes, etc. I didn't mean to say I'm going to monitor everybody's attendance and all that. The reason I said that was that there were a lot of people who told me that we will wait for you to either start another class or join this class if there is room for that many people. And they asked me to send links to these classes. So I was a bit anxious to make sure that those who are, there are about 35 or 40 people I think that we have added in this group. And now there are perhaps 25 people here, which is fine. So I just wanted to check if those who have been invited to the class are indeed interested in attending the class. That was my reason for saying that statement. So it's not that I'm monitoring these attendances. It's not that you should tell me if you're not attending and all that. That's not the point. Our focus is on the teaching. So please attend whenever you can. But I will tell you that the class will progress gradually and systematically. And like next class, we will learn Purushartha. And it will be good to know, if you don't already know what this Dharma, Karma, Moksha is, it will be good to get that under your belt, as they say, so that we can move on. Next time when we talk about Artha, you know what Artha is, you know what Kama is, etc. And these are elaborately explained by the Shastra. We may have some rough ideas of what these things are. We will formalize those ideas. So okay. So this is how the class will be. I can open up the class for questions now. It is pretty close to 7. If there are any questions, please, we have to find a way how to organize these questions, but I'm sure we will learn that. Sundarji, please. Okay, so I have muted all of you again. And Sundarji, go ahead and unmute yourself if you can. Okay, so let me unmute yourself. I have just unmuted you.
Yeah, see, thing is, we say people with buddhi, you said about that, right? I mean, we are differentiating ourselves from animals to ourselves with respect to the buddhi. What about people without that buddhi swavadinam illadava, we say, right? We say people without buddhi swavadinam. How do you differentiate them? I mean, they say they are nearer to God because they don't think about themselves.
So let me translate the question. So Buddhi Swadhinam, if I understand what you mean, Buddhi Swadhinam means it can mean 2 or 3 things. It can mean at least 2 things. One is somebody like a mentally disabled person. They say Buddhi Swadhinam illai. So mentally disabled person, it's a disability like any other physical disability. And that person also leads a life like everybody else. So we don't necessarily, Shastram does not necessarily differentiate that person from other human beings. Everybody needs the help of the Shastram and will get the help of the Shastram. And there is no telling this person whom we say is mentally challenged. I think we should use the word, politically correct word is challenged. So that person, there is no guarantee that that person is any less qualified than any other person to appreciate the Shastra. In fact, I know, I've seen some people in the ashram who are either unable to hear properly or even see properly, but they are able to grasp the teachings very well. I don't know how it happens, but this is Bhagavan's gift for people. So we don't get in the way of Bhagavan in these matters. And another Buddhi Swadhinam, I don't know if there are any other meanings, but this is the popular meaning of Buddhi Swadhinam, Illadava. And if you mean somebody else also, please feel free to tell me what that is. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, Haraprasad, let me unmute you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. This is the question raised by Swapna about the author of the book. Okay. No, definitely by looking at the appellation given to Vasudevendra, it can be said that the Shishya of Vasudevendra wrote this, and definitely it cannot be Adi Shankaracharya. Am I right?
Yeah, so in my email, I did not say definitely.
Yeah.
So,
But since we are giving appellations to Vasudevendra Indra,
yeah, so we never see Shankaracharya doing namaskar to Vasudevendra, Adi Shankaracharya. So we assume by that this book is not written by Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya, that
right.
individual Adi Shankaracharya.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. Okay.
So that's what Swamiji has said also, and other scholars also agree with that. In
Yeah.
fact, yeah. So that's the view, and in fact, Swamiji doesn't talk about it in his book,
Right.
but that's what I remember hearing from Swamiji.
Okay. Yeah. He does talk about the author, and because of that, Kanchi, he says some about 3 times.
Okay, yeah. So you mean Saraswati, etc., right?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay, I've muted yourself. Any other questions or any administrative questions or anything like that? Yeah, Kedarnath ji.
Yeah, Jayakumar ji. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. You listed down 4 Purusharthas. Some of the Bhakti literatures also list Bhakti as one of the Purushartha. Like some of the works of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They say that Bhakti is also Panchavid Purushartha. Can you please elaborate on that? Thanks.
Yeah, I have seen that. And so you can add Bhakti also as a Purushartha. But it is not as much as a Purushartha as Artha and Kama. And you will see that next class when we cover. You will see that Artha and Kama. Artha means security. Everybody uniformly seeks security. Kama is pleasure. Everybody uniformly seeks pleasure. Bhakti, if you say, then one can question Bhakti to what? And one apparently can seem to live without Bhakti to Ishvara, if you say Parameshvara. Without an atheist seems to live a life who doesn't believe in a being called God, etc. So that's why we don't include Bhakti. But it's all right. If we include Bhakti, it's okay because the Pradhana Purushartha is not there. So finally we will say Dharma, Artha and Kama are really only ancillary or secondary Purushartha. The primary Purushartha is moksha. Okay. Any other questions? Yeah, I am unmuted Sundarji.
Can you repeat the 4 qualities that you said? Ahara, Nidra, Bhayam, then?
Maithunam.
Maithunam. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Ashutosh.
So this is more of a general question. Why is it called Purushartha? Why not Manushartha? Like when you say, like, are we? I know we are not excluding three, but like in Sanskrit, how exactly are we actually defining, the genders, and how are we actually saying here Purushartha instead of, not really saying Manushya?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to mute yourself again. So see, the the actual meaning of the word Purusha in Sanskrit is Purau Ushati iti Purusha. Pura means this city called the body. Okay, this city called the body. The one who lives in that city, like we all live in our own cities, different cities. The one who indwells that city is called Purusha. That is the meaning of the word Purusha. That is one of the meanings of the word Purusha. There is another meaning. Sarvam Purayati iti Purusha. Means one who fills up everything is called Purusha. We are going to learn that Atma, everything is Ishvara and everything is Atma, and that Atma is Ishvara. This is Vedanta. We are going to learn that. And so this word Purusha already has that message, which is the one Sarvam Purayati, one who fills up everything. So these are the Vedantic meanings of the word Purusha. Then colloquially, so in Tamil, for example, we use the word Purushan. Purushan means husband, not even male, means husband only. And then yes, Purush, when we say in Hindi, mein Purush bolte hain, so it generally means male, right? Man. And so here, Purusha doesn't mean man, and Manusha has a different meaning, and Nushya, I think Manu, the descendant of Manu is a Manusha. Manu is told in our Shastra as the one who started the human race, so to speak. So therefore, we are all Manushyas. That is the meaning. So here we use the Shastram uses a respectful word, and the respectful word is Purusha for all of us. Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, go ahead.
Human beings, they say that we have 6 senses, right? Is that kind of that? Does we include all this? We have is that ahara, nidra, bayam, maitunam, and buddhi? Do we count that to the 6 senses, or is that's different?
Yeah, that's different. Yeah, basically, I suppose the animal also has 5 senses. I didn't think of it, but suddenly now that you asked me, I feel like I'm on a spot. But yeah, I suppose the dog also has all the senses that we have, and some of these senses are even more advanced for these animals. And they say the shark can smell a drop of blood 1 mile away. It is just mind-boggling for me to even think how it's possible. How can the blood molecule or something must be there nearby for it to even sense it? But they say that's its ability. And so yes, they have some of their sense organs are highly attuned to their habitats and to their way of living. Bats have a different kind of skill set when it comes to senses. It cannot hear like we hear, but it is using all this sonar type of sonar type of technology. In fact, I think sonar was inspired by the way bats operate, I've heard. So yeah, so sense organs are different from these ahara nidra, which is simply used to define or differentiate human beings from animals. Any other questions, concerns? Okay, so we will stop with that. We will conclude with the prarthana. After that, just a few administrative things we'll talk about. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्ताम् न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम।